of them that their ex or their husband is so anger and is full of anger and so angry every time and lashed out unnecessarily. Did you blame yourself for his anger at any time?
You know, that's one thing I didn't. Never ever, because I knew who I was.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I knew even though it affected me, but it affected me in different ways. I never at one point, because I knew what would happen, and it wasn't because of me doing anything, it was his own anger that he'd walk in with, or his own phone call conversation he's had that he's angry about. So I knew it wasn't me, but still it affected me that I was scared, I was frightened, I was always fearful that any time something could happen, and you know, so that fear was in me all the time. Yeah, but not blaming myself, because, you know, and again, I was brought up to be truthful and, you know, say it as it is. And, yeah, so I was never feeling that I've done this wrong. And that's why, or maybe I have gone somewhere wrong, you know. Even if I had that feeling, I quickly shook it off, because I no. But I still need to resolve this, that I have to do something to keep everything quiet and calm. You know,
Thank you.
Yeah.
So number one, you know, when you meet with somebody and is not disclosing his full identity to you, then you should that's a signal that you have to watch your shoulder for. Second, and you're always feeling, you know, unnecessarily you're not comfortable with them. You or her, because sometimes it's not just the men, you know, women can be, you know, so you are not comfortable with them. You're always feeling, oh God, if I say something wrong, or if they get angry outside, they come and take it up upon me, you know, you have to be careful. These are the signs you need to be watching out for or looking out for. And you said something that I love, Charmaine. You said you know who you were. Yeah. You know, a lot of women are in marriages right now or in getting married, but they don't know who they are. You know, we can't overemphasize this. You need to know who you are. You need to know your identity before you get into marriage. It is very, very important. So when you find out about his anger, did you discover this with any of the family?
No. And that's where I think my mistake was, because, and I think this is, I want to take this as being able to give a message out to your viewers as well, listeners. When you feel that it's not right, I used to feel it, and then I used to work in an office at that time, and every day they'd come in and somebody would be complaining about their wife, somebody would be complaining about their husband. Oh, you did this last night, oh, you did this. I thought that was normal. I thought maybe this is what I've gone through at home, but they didn't really completely share what it was. So this is a message I'm going to give out to the world, that don't make people like me who thought it was okay and normal that, oh, they're going through that, but mine was totally different. So stop moaning about your husbands and of your wives in front of people. I'm telling you, be grateful. And if you're moaning, tell the whole story, because people like me, I used to think, oh, well, that's them. But I never used to moan, because my parents have brought me up not to be a moaner. You know?
Wow.
So that's it.
Your parents have done a very good job.
They the best.
Well, are they still alive?
My father passed away.
Thank you very much. Mommy is still alive. Thank you very much, Mommy. If you're going to watch this, or you're, you come across it anywhere, thank you very much for raising a beautiful and a very good girl. Oh, yes. You've done a good job. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, some children might not be able to say that about their parents. My father was never part of my life. Oh. So I always feel when I see parents or children talking about their parent, I'm like, I give it up to them. That's very good.
It's a blessing.
It is. It's not every parent that brings forth to the world believe or have that understanding that they need to nurture this child, to be there for them and raise them to be proper and be well in life. And if you are doing that as a parent, well done, you're doing a great job. And if you haven't, or you're not doing it, it's never too late. You can pick up that call and call that child and start to be in their life right now. Right, you mentioned that there was a lot of pressure from the family members of a side, from the country of your origin. How did you feel about their intervention?
Well, the intervention was mainly for finance.
Finance? When you say finance, so they support you?
No, the opposite. They wanted support, yes. So the main thing, I was introduced to the parents and to his brothers and sisters, and but it was mainly, they wanted us like financially supporting them all the time, other than that, there was not much love and care, which I felt anyway, because love and care is in different levels, and just to say hello, hi, that's it, and not be supportive in any other way is not love and care to me. So that's how I felt anyway. But financially, because he was now in UK and they were in Pakistan, they expected good money coming every month.
Oh my God.
And we were just trying to get on our own 2 feet, so it's added pressure of finance came in pretty soon. Yeah, pretty soon.
I don't know, maybe you're a parent or you're a mother-in-law or a father-in-law and you're watching this right now. Please try to understand. Can you hear that? This is for Charmaine. It's not easy for couples that are just trying to find their feet and you're constantly nagging them for money every time. It is not fair on them. Please let us be careful. And your husband, your ex, how did he manage that?
Well, very difficultly managed, yeah, because the stress would hit him. And plus, when he came here, he let go of the job that he got here, and so the finance was only ours, the breadwinner kind of thing. So, the stress took its toll on him all the time. That time of the month when the money needs to go over, in the home, you could feel the stress brewing up. I need to send money, Even I think he didn't like to do it himself, but he was under pressure. And obligation and all that. Not as though they were living in poverty, because when I went, after a year I went there, and their fridge was fuller than my fridge, Ade.
You just said exactly what I tell people. Even in Africa, I hear people say this a lot. That, my family, but they're doing well.
Better than us, they were doing.
Better than us sometimes, but they just want that extra coming from England. They think you have a tree of money just behind your garden or something. Yeah. So we need to be careful and use wisdom in anything that we do. Yeah. As a wife, how did that affect you? Yeah. As a wife, that you have to be the one working. I understand that sometimes a woman have to take the lead in the finance area, when the husband is down. I understand that aspect, and I'm not saying it's wrong, because the season in every marriage is sometimes the man is earning good money and you can ask the wife, don't work, you stay at home. And sometimes the husband is not working, it's the wife that is working. You have to support each other. But at that moment, you knew what was going on. How did you feel?
I knew what was going on, but like I said, I wasn't a money-hungry person, so I was kind, and that kindness really took its toll on me, being kind all the time. So I wasn't upset that he was sending the money, but I used to think, if we send that there, what we're making here and what we're going to, juggle our finances, how are we going to do it? And no saving and nothing putting away for our children kind of thing. That used to affect me. But still, I always wanted peace. For the sake of peace, I used to say yes to everything.
To everything.
Everything I did it.
Wow.
And it's not like bashing this man at this moment, but I want to get my message out that for the sake of peace, sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes after 16 years, you've had enough and you come out, you think, why did I let 16 years of my life devoted it to that man who, at the end, I got nothing out of it. It's not the money, it's not the finance, but even that companionship, that you're bonding with somebody, it takes a lot, bonding and getting closer and closer, but we got nowhere at the end.
I think this is where the real story is now. And viewers, if you haven't shared this video, please help us to share it, because what Charmaine is saying, you can hear the word 16 years. She spent 16 years of her life with this man. So it's not a joke what we're discussing right now. And I don't know, maybe you are in a similar situation, or you're feeling the heat, you're not happy, you don't have that bonding in your marriage, you don't have that connection, and you're constantly blaming yourself. You're thinking it is your fault. I just want Jermaine to go deeper now, because people might be thinking, okay, pressure from home, and is out of work. Maybe that's why he's angry, and that's why you left him, because you couldn't handle him. Why did you leave or abandon your matrimonial home that took you 16 years to build.
it. So like I was saying before, 16 years to build something, and at the end, during that time I had social isolation because he wanted me away from family and friends. I had to go through that. He financially, like I said, he abused me, that he controlled my finances. Well, actually, he destroyed my finances, as well as my family home. And through those 16 years of devoting to that man, at the end, one day I came into the house with my daughter next to my legs and just came into the room. He was sat there. I said, "Are you okay?" Out of nowhere, he came and he thumped me and kicked me. Did I deserve that after 16 years?
Hold on before you get there, because I believe there were a lot of things that went on before that, and I really want our viewers and our listeners to really understand. He sold the house. Before
the house was on my name when I bought it, as you do. When you're 25, you've got a job, you get a house, the husband comes in, and then he... for money. I need money all the time, and I began to hate money. It took me a while to get to enjoy money again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that took me on my journey. But the money was, we need to mortgage the house to take the money out because I need it for my business or for this or for my whatever.
Yeah.
And just again to keep the peace, because if I challenged him on anything, he'd be banging the wall, kicking the sofas, kicking the doors. The children would be able to hear all that going on. And to keep the peace, I just do everything he says. Okay, money, I don't care about money. There's the check, there's the signature, there's that. So my house had actually, he'd sold it and took the money out. Then second time he sold it to his friend and took some more money out. And the third time after 16 years when I had to leave the house, it was the bailiffs that took me out.
Oh my God. Before you left the house, I believe there are a lot of things that still went on. But I just want to ask our listeners and viewers right now, if you were to be in Charmaine's shoe, what would you have done differently? You can give us a call here in the studios on 079 603 91983. I really want to hear your views. What will you have done differently? You bought the house and you came back one day and the house is no more yours. What will you do? Then you got pregnant, and can you share the story behind what happened?
No, I got pregnant the first year.
Okay.
I had Ali, my son, was, I had him. But even one day when I was pregnant, just because sometimes you block things out, all the horrible things, I blocked them. And this is actually the first interview that I'm doing as deep as it is.
Wow.
I've done others, but not gone as deep.
Not as deep as this.
But I'll tell you, and also I wish, this again for your viewers, reach out to the community, reach out to good people there and tell, because I wish sometime I had done that, maybe, but I was trying to keep the respect. I was trying to cover my husband, because
that's
my
what
head,
we got to do. You've not done anything.
That's it. Yeah, but I wish I'd heard, more women speak up, and that's why I take every chance. If anybody asked me to share anything, I would do it, because you don't know whose life you'll affect. But one day, when I was pregnant, and this is where, somebody will say, well, you might have made him angry, or you might have created a situation. And he picked me up from work. At that time, we only had one car, and I was pregnant very heavily. And when you get hungry when you're pregnant, have you had that feeling where you say, "Oh, I need it now"?
Yeah.
So it felt like that as we were coming, and he stopped at a takeaway nearby and bought me a sandwich. And we were nearly close to home, and I don't know where it came from, the anger. And you know what he did to the sandwich as we got out of the car? He threw it over the railway line next to our house. Just imagine that.
Oh my God.
Imagine me, really heavily pregnant, starving, and my husband in front of my eyes. No, I hadn't done anything. Something clicked in his head to make him angry, and he threw it. And that, can you imagine how I must felt?
Yeah.
And even now, thinking about it, I feel sad for that Shamim. I'm thinking, I wish, Shamim, you had somebody around you who could have, you know, maybe shared their story and made you think that that's not my normal marriage.
Marriage.
And now, alhamdulillah, thanks to God, thanks to God's mercy and blessing, I'm happily married now, I can
Thank
say.
God.
3.5 years married to a normal gentleman. And what it is, you know, no normal husband would make their wife feel that,
Wow.
you know, in that way.
You know, we're still going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, that's you remarrying. I don't want you to take that thought away from yourself. But she said something. You've tasted two different, and you can tell which one is good.
Yeah.
And some people believe you shouldn't remarry once you're of divorce.
I was one of those.
So we're going to get to that. Don't let me forget that. Right. But she said something that why we started this show. People sharing their story. You don't know what you're doing when you're sharing your story. You're building lives. You're mending hearts. You're making people to be at liberty for them to know what it is to love, what it is to feel pain. Now she can share the two sides of the coin. When she was in a horrible marriage and now that she's in a good marriage, she can tell you. And from our experience, you will be able to learn and you won't make the same mistake. And that's why we're sharing this. And from this and sharing of a story as well, you will be healed as well. Because Shemaine here, she's going to be sharing with us our healing process. And I believe you're writing all of this down because they are something that you have to pay to get somewhere else. But on this platform, we let you have it for free. Thank you very much, Shemaine, for coming to share this with us. I do really appreciate it. You got to the point that you shut down. According to what you said to me during my pre-interview with you. What do you mean by shutting down? Because some women again or men might be watching us and they are at that stage, but they don't know.
Yeah, because I shut down in a way. I thought, well, he is as he is, and I'm just going to keep my marriage going, and I'm going to try my best, and just carry on. Yeah. And but it doesn't last long like that. It doesn't last because people like that person, I don't know, everybody's different, but he would always find a way to get under my skin. I think your listeners, if they're out there and they're listening and they're going through something, they'll understand when I say they get under your skin.
But what were you trying to achieve though when you shut down?
Shut down. When I shut down, I mean I just detach from the situation, take them out of under our skin and get on with my life, which is my work, my children, my family, my home, my mom and dad, my brothers and sisters, my friends, Don't let that affect me, just get them out. And it's actually, that's the word I'd use, get them out from under your skin so they don't affect you emotionally. Stabilize your emotions.
Thank you very much.
But then they know though, that you've done it, so then they'll try another way.
You're right. And this is why I really wanted you to share that bit, because I don't know, you might be at that state now. You will see in some homes, you just find that the woman is so attached to the children, neglecting the husband because she's trying to shut down, detach herself from the man that is constantly abusing her, and for her not to be feeling that pain, you see her, she will pour all the love she once had for the man on that child. So please, if you are, going through all this, you can seek counseling. Nothing is stopping you for seeing a counselor. Please, he might need help. You might be thinking you'll be able to handle it with that, focusing your energy on your work, on your other aspects of your family, but that's not the main solution. You really need to you need help as well, and you need help, so you really need to speak out. Right, I believe you were about to share that bit when it got physical. Did it ever get physical?
Yeah, and that was the day I knew for sure my whole life crumbled. It was like you see in the movies that, they see a scene happen and everything, loud music and all this. That's how that scene was.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that was the day he physically hit me. And he had always talked about his father who was beaten his wife all his life, meaning his mother. And at the age of 16, he had to stand in between them and say, you're not going to hit my mum anymore. And he always used to say, I would never do that, I would never do that. But he did do that because, again, I believe if you've seen your parents do that, you will copy it, you know, you'll replay it in your life. So the day he hit me was the day I knew that this is going to end up with me leaving him. Because I thought if he's done it once, he's going to do it again, and he's going to do it again. And that was when I shared with my 3 friends.
Thank you. We're going to get to that briefly. You said something that is very, very important. You know, sometimes women want to stay in an abusive relationship, thinking I'm staying because of my children, because of what the society will do. But, or will say, but you know, the child or the children in that abusive relationship are seeing everything, and they will grow up to be an abuser themselves. And I believe that's what has happened in case of your ex. You know, and that's why you need to go for counseling. Everybody involved, not just you, the children as well, they need a healing as well to happen so that they won't do it on someone else. You know, it is really serious what we are discussing here this afternoon. So did your children witness that?
Well, my daughter witnessed when he actually hit me, and she was right next to my legs, and first thing she said, what was that for, Mummy? Even a child knows that if somebody hits you, it's for a reason, you know?
It's wrong.
And so my daughter had seen the scene, and like you said, I wanted my children, and I want every child in the world to be brought up in a clean atmosphere, environment. So what happened then is I knew that this is going to affect my children. He was already abusive to my son, and my son was now a good teenager that, you know, it was going to affect him. And so it wasn't just him hitting me, it was hitting me in front of my daughter, and him abusing my son. And basically he was getting worse and worse, really, you know, in his anger as well. So, and me at the same time, emotionally, I was mentally going down, down, down. And at that point, it was my religion that kept
you. You know, I love what you've just said as well. I don't know what your religion might be, whatever that you believe in. You know, I'm a Christian and I believe in Jesus Christ, and I pray to Jesus, and he answers me. And Charmaine as well just said something I love now, that a prayer held her when she was down, when she was weak. You know, he held her, he kept her going. And you just need to go on your knees and pray as well. You need to hold on to something that you believe and pray to that thing. You know, it's always good to have a religion, to have a relationship with the God that you will call upon when you are weak. Thank you very much for, you know, for sharing that. I understand that he had an attack after the incident. What happened? What happened? You share that with us.
You know, there was lots of dimensions to my ex-husband. You know, he was very much like, if he wanted my attention like a child, it'd be like, do something that makes me, oh, is he okay?
Is he okay?
After that, him hitting me and me just walking out the room into the other room in, you know, shock. I couldn't even breathe properly, thinking what's going on. Because I knew what's going on is going to change my life for the rest of my life now. And I was in shock. So he knew that he'd done something
wrong.
Yeah. So he started, he fell on the floor and panting and as though he can't breathe, and I knew him by then, and this time I wasn't going to fall for it, because this was a man who hit me for no reason in front of my daughter. I had no respect for him after that, really. Even if he was my husband, the respect had gone that day. So then I didn't bother with him. I said, you know, are you okay? I went to him, he was on the floor, and he was gasping. I said, do you want me to call the ambulance? I was cold as anything that day, because what he'd done to me, I did not deserve. I knew who I was. And he panting as though he's having a heart attack. So I said, I'll call the ambulance. I didn't give him water. I didn't do nothing for him. I thought, I've done enough. Everything I've done for this man, and he hits me. Okay, this is the point.
Is it.
So I rang the ambulance. I stayed in the other room. The ambulance came, took him in the ambulance. He's fine. He comes back out.
Do you know why I wanted you to share that, Charmaine? Because that is called emotional blackmail. You know, you might be in an atmosphere like that, and they know that they've done something wrong, and they will try to blackmail you into believing that you've done something wrong, or it was your fault, or try to come and apologize to them, or
Yeah.
stopping them from apologizing to you, they try to put a face on, an act on, so that you will just forget about the
Yes.
incident and you will not do anything about it. Please and please do not fall for the trap. It's a trap. And once you allow it, it will keep going.
Yeah.
It will never stop. You know, we've been sharing some tips that you need to watch out for if you are in an abusive relationship. You need to watch out for all those signs. They are there. People say, I don't know. But you don't need people to come and say to your face, this is it. But once you can feel or see any of these signs that we've been discussing, then you need to seek for help. That's what we're saying. Nobody's saying leave your husband or your wife, but seek help. Get help. Help is readily available. You can talk to your GP, you know, talk to anybody. You can talk to Beautiful Mind, and we will signpost you to the right agency that will help you. So please. But did you for any minute think it was your fault?
No.
So
Not
you didn't
that
fall
point.
for it?
No, it was enough by then.
Right.
Yeah.
Charmaine.
And also, I'd always told him the day you hit me physically is the day he knew that.
Right. We've got to the point that I need to tell you the truth. If I was you and I had to go through that, I would leave that marriage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to endure what you did endure. But that's me talking, and we're different. What about you? What did you do?
Yeah, so that was the point I started sharing. That was the first time ever I started sharing with family and friends that what was going on in my marriage. And I remember one of my close friends, she said, that's not a normal marriage. She said, that's not healthy marriage, what you've disclosed to me. It's not. And she kept pushing me to go to the police station to report it.
Incident.
Yes.
Oh.
So for 3 months I didn't, because I was always a person put their head in the sand. But I did after 3 months, and bless him, the policeman, he changed my life basically.
Wow.
He sat me down in a room and he asked me to share, and I shared, and he wanted his name and the address so he could go there and tell him whatever. And I wouldn't, and I kept crying because I was fearful, because, you know, his anger used to scare me. I think if he might go and attack my children, me, or my family, you know. And he said, no, he won't do nothing, don't worry, but I still didn't. But what then he did was take his pen, paper, and he drew the circle of abuse.
Wow.
And I want your viewers and your listeners to go on their Google and search circle of abuse for domestic violence. Yeah.
Okay.
They will see, because when he drew that circle and guided me what it was, I said, that's the marriage I've been in 16 years.
Oh my God.
That's what my marriage has been. So he opened my
Your
vision.
eyes.
That, wow, this is it. I'm like, I didn't know this.
Oh God.
So that had another, you know, development in my mind that.
But you took a bold step though, because I believe, you know, from African cultures I'm from, a lot of women will not do that. Because they believe that you can never take your husband or your wife to a police station and come back to be friends or to have anything together.
But I had fears, Addy. I was fearful for my own life at that point, because the anger in him was just too scary for me, and I feared for my children.
Thank you for mentioning that. That's what I wanted you to say.
So my fear was bigger than my fear of people.
Thank you.
Changed.
Thank you very much for that, Charmaine. Please, your life is really, really important. The life of your children are really, really important. You can't continue to keep up or to keep up appearances to look good in front of everybody, but you're dying inside, or your children are dying inside. Please, you need to speak out. Seek help. You can go to the police station, and it would not touch you. It wouldn't. Because some people, they have that fear that he's going to come after me, he's going to harm me, he's going to do something.
And that's just the fear that they've kept us in, because I was just like that, fearful, very fearful. And but even the police, the policeman didn't do anything. They said, if you're saying no, we won't get
We
involved.
won't get involved.
So don't be scared of going to the police as well, because that day just changed my life. If I could find that policeman to thank him, he really did. There's good
The police
people
are doing
out there.
a good
Great job
Well
out there,
done.
yeah.
Well done for what you're doing. So you left the house.
Yeah, then I left the house.
Then you came back.
Yeah.
Why?
I
What on
left-
earth?
Yeah.
And you said to me during the pre-interview that was the worst year of your life.
Yeah.
Why did you go back, and why did you say it was the worst?
I left the house, went to my mum's, stayed there for 2 weeks until my sister helped me find a rented house. Went in there. In that time, my ex-husband brought his father over from Pakistan, who he knew, and I respected both his parents, being our elders. That's what our parents taught us to do, and no matter what they were like, I still had respect for them, and they had that kind of respect for me. So his father, in elderly age, with a white beard, please keep it together, get back together, and for their sake, I thought maybe now his father knows more. His father's probably told him off a bit more. Maybe he will change, And for the sake of our elders, let's do it. And it was the worst final year of my life with that man, because he was worse than ever before. Cold, but I kept going at it. You know why? This time I kept going. I thought, I'm going to go down on my knees on the floor until I go to a point where I will get out and I'll never come back.
But some people have the intention when they go back of changing him, or he's going to change?
By that time, I knew he has to change himself. Before 16 years, I was trying to help him change, help him see what was not going right in our marriage, communication, this or that. But that year, I knew he has to change himself. So completely cold man, completely no financial, security in any way giving me, and all the, the child benefits and stuff, because I'd had that on my name. He kept saying, put it back on my name, put it back. So it was all for the money again, and I wasn't going to do that, because I wasn't doing that. He was giving me more abuse. So why did I last a year? And I think this is deep for a person like me, because I knew if I just go out again, I might come back in. Let me take as much as I can take and do as much as I can do to say that I've done everything that I could have done to keep this marriage going. But at the end, I was nearly dying because my health was so bad. My stress, my neck, I used to have 3 pillows to lie down. And you know what he'd do at night? And one day I remember ringing my friend and asking her, why does he do this? He knew all this neck area would go tense so much that even somebody touching it would hurt. So I used to have 3 pillows under my neck, sleep upside down, and on purpose he'd bash it just there with his elbow. So that made me think that, how can somebody be so cruel? He shares the same bed as me. He's supposed to be the closest to me, but he's the cruelest to me. People out there weren't cruel, he was cruel. He do that in my place where it would hurt.
Oh my God.
And that day, I woke up in the morning, dropped my daughter off to school, and I rang my best friend, and I cried and cried on the phone. I said, you tell me, why does he do this? Why is he so cruel? And all she did was listen, and she said, I don't know. But her listening even helped me. But that's where I kept going. I said, I'm going to reach a point where I'm going to have enough that I know if I go out this time, I'm not going to come back.
Nothing is going to bring it back.
Nothing's going to bring me back.
And that's the point some people need to get. But sometimes it might be too late at that point.
Yeah, it could have been. Because
it
my
might
health
be. Some people have lost their life.
2 women per week get killed by their partners.
By their partners. Please, what we're discussing here this afternoon is not a joke. Do not stay in until you cannot take it anymore. When you're feeling the heat, seek help. That's all we are saying this afternoon. I've heard of this thing, I don't know, and I believe we mentioned it before. I heard that it is challenging for a Muslim to get divorced.
Yeah.
Because of the stigma.
Yeah.
Which is why we're doing this show, because we want to stop that stigma. to be a divorcee in the community.
Let's reword that. It's a challenge for a Pakistani woman to get a divorce. Keep Muslim out.
It's not just a Pakistan. No, Africans.
It's not the religion. The religion is so easy. Religion is so simple. Our Prophet ﷺ, somebody came, a woman came, she goes, I don't like my husband anymore. He said, ask for the divorce and go.
And that's what it was said in the Bible as well. Wow. So you can ask for a divorce. So it is a cultural thing.
And you know what, Ade, this is the other thing. Education was not there around me at that time, Islamic education. I didn't even know I could apply for something which is called khula, where I can just apply myself to get a divorce.
Really?
I thought he would have to give me a divorce.
Yeah. So you can do it
I
as
only
well.
found that out when I separated from him.
Why do you want to stay there to get killed when you can get it done?
Simple.
If
you're not happy, and your marriage, I meet people nowadays, and it saddens me because now I've got more education on the Islamic side of it. Women will say that, it's, patience, keep it going. Patience for what? If your marriage there's no happiness in a marriage, it's not even real, the marriage.
That's it. It's not real. You're right.
Marriage can be void if you're not happy and you're not sleeping together. And how many women I personally know who haven't had a marital bedtime with their husband for years?
Oh God, I know you've heard about that.
Yes, on our doorsteps outside.
It's happening everywhere.
It's not right.
And I don't know how people can live together. In fact, I was sharing with somebody this morning that I want to do something for one couple. Just take them away and put them together. Probably they will do something. Because I don't think it's right.
It's not healthy for both of them. It's not healthy.
And again, it's because you mentioned again that you are now married again. It's because, again, the stigma. They think once you are a divorcee, you can't get another man to love you, talk less of getting to marry you.
Yeah, that's another subject. But before we come to that, I don't think I've mentioned it enough because my religion, I mentioned it once, but I wanted to re-mention it because it was my religion, my connection with my Creator. On that salamat, I would cry at night and pray at night on my own and ask for his help. And every time, without his help, I didn't do a thing.
Wow.
The signs came from him, the people came from him, everything came. Whatever I asked for used to come. And it was like a jigsaw puzzle that happened and took me to divorce.
Wow.
I couldn't have done it on my own.
Thank you for saying that. And that's why I said you have to have a relationship with God. If you don't have a relationship with God, He won't give you direction. You need direction. You need word from God. You need to hear a word from God to say, this is what you need to do, my daughter. And you will go ahead and do it. And it will make your life so much easier.
So much easier. And, because I've been talking all about me, him, but God was my main thing that played a massive role in the whole situation.
Thank you. So did he just, about the divorce, how was it? How did you find a man?
I used to... this remarriage. Okay. We jumped to remarriage.
So was it that easy?
No, that was another subject. But did you not want to go in how I healed before?
No. We will talk about healing. I just want to say,
how did I?
It is easy.
When I wanted to remarry, I was at a point when I knew that I now need to remarry. I made that decision. It was one of the most difficult things for me to do as a Muslim lady in the community I'm in. Because my families had their own point of view. Your children, this man, who's he going to be? How's he going to be like with your children? They didn't really, I think give me as a woman that I'm maybe clever enough to maybe judge this man. And if I'm not judged this man right, it'll be my mistake and I'll learn from it again.
We have to, I have to bring you back on the show to talk about that. We're married. That's a very beautiful story. I love that. It is. I really love that. But what I want to take out from that is you can do it. Just because you're married once does not mean you're married for life. And that's a wish, that's a prayer. That's what we want. But sometimes it doesn't. Instead of you losing your life, and that does not mean you cannot fulfill purpose, because some people believe as a divorcee, you can't lead ministry, you can't have your own thing, you can't keep going. You know, that stigma will always be there, will always follow you. But you can still be who God wants you to be,
Yes.
even after being divorced. So please, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying you can still have your life. God loves you regardless of what has happened in your life. God, I know some people have a verse in the Bible that says God hates divorce.
Yeah.
God hates divorce, but He loves a divorcee.
Yeah.
God loves you. I want to put it that out there. So did He release you just like that, or did you have to go
Oh
through?
no, not release me like that. He walked away when I wanted him to at the end, definitely. But then when it came to me after 6 months applying for the Hulla, it was like a war came then. Because he wouldn't sign the paper for 1.5 years. It took me to get the final divorce from him, because he'd say she doesn't let me see the children. It's him who 6 months he didn't contact the children. Yeah. So again that role he was playing of a liar again. So she won't let me see the children. She's pushing them away from me. I was doing nothing, because I never want to be where my children grow up and say, "Mommy, you didn't let me do that. I gave them." I said. So then he wanted access to my daughter, and through the courts he applied, and to the courts I said, if you think he's healthy for her, it's your responsibility. Let him, and if something happens, I will ask you, because I don't trust him.
Wow,
You
I love
decide.
that.
So then we went through the courts quite a few times, and the first hearing at the court, he didn't even turn up. That was
Wow.
what he was like, irresponsible, yeah? So then when he used to turn up, it was the most frightening thing for me. I always used to have my brother there, and I would be just so nervous that day. It was
Wow.
horrible. But at the end, the court decided, he wasn't
I
healthy.
wanted you to share that because of what you've just said. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not.
So we're not going to sit down here and say the process is going to be very, very quick and easy.
No.
Some people, it takes them years.
Yeah.
But God can fasten it and hasten it for you and not make you to feel so much pain, because it is really, really difficult. So you have to be ready.
And we're already going through the pain. If you're in an unhappy marriage, you're already feeling the pain, so you're going to feel a different kind of pain, but you're going to come out of it happier,
That's
healthier.
Thank you very much. I know you're talking about healing before, but we'll get to the healing part. One thing that a lot of women have said that they went through, when I'm interviewing them, is always that they went through the state of depression after divorce and during divorce, even when they're in a marriage. Did you experience that at any point of your life?
Yeah, when the divorce actually happened, because until then I was on a mission. I think it was like I was a mission.
Wow.
Yeah, when the divorce actually happened, that took me on a different level. It was like I broke down. It was my whole body, my mental health, my physical, everything broke down. And it was like, everything's moving for everybody else normally, except
not
me.
you.
But not me. You're in a different, well, that's how I felt, different place, different phase. And I just used to rest a lot. I'd be lying down, take my daughter to school and come home and lie down and just be numb. And it took me quite a while, and I knew then, and that was the first time I used to go out, buy cakes and stuff and come home and sit on my own and eat cakes. I'd never done that in my life. So I knew, and then I started putting weight on, which again, health conditions started happening. Then I knew if I go down this route now, it's going to, who's going to look after my children? Who's going to look after the finance? I started going exercise, Zumba, 3 nights a week. Oh, that was my saviour.
Also, before we get to the healing, because I believe that's part of the healing that you'll be talking about, I just want to encourage somebody listening to us or watching us this evening that you might be at that stage. Everything that she mentioned now, they are real. You've spent 15 years of your life with somebody, and now you have to start all over again. You know, you actually start, probably you had joint accounts, the bills, you share it, or, you know, the house shows you do it, you know, and now you, even though it was eating you, it was being horrible to you, you could tell that there is another adult in the house, but now it's just you. Every decision, everything is coming from you. So you might want to get to that stage where you will go out there and buy chocolate or buy cake and you'll just be eating it. But I just want you to know that don't remain there, because that is a dangerous place to be. Don't stay there for too long. Once you've seen yourself there, you've seen the sign that it's like the whole world is moving, but just you are staying on the same spot. You're not moving. You don't feel like doing anything. You're not happy. You're just low constantly. You need to seek help. Please, don't do it on your own. So when did the healing process start?
Yeah.
What did you do to get just that phase?
You know, I was contenting, I was glad that it all happened, but I was broken. You know, so it wasn't as though I was missing him in any way. I was happier. There was peace in my life. I knew there's a good horizon, you know, coming in. But I was very sad, and I think it must be quite normal, like you said, because you've been with somebody and now all of a sudden you're detached. So you have to rebuild yourself. But then to rebuild, I needed to get healthier, you know, and then the exercise came in. I used to go in, it was the evenings I used to go, I remember, and having to pull myself to go out. Oh, it was a nightmare, honestly, but I knew this was my, like, medicine. I'd go there, but I'd come out like a lion.
Wow.
Come out like, I've achieved something, I feel great. And I even got a few women going with me.
Go
I said,
with
let's
you.
go.
Wow.
So that helped me a lot.
So
and that
all the
mentally,
things.
that mentally helped me a lot. But like I said to you, I knew I was on the right path. I knew I'd done the right thing. I was on the right path. And also what I felt, I had an entrepreneur mindset because I was in business as well. I used to do the personal development, listen to videos, audios. That helped me a lot as well, because believe it or not, personal development is another word for religion, I think. You know, yes, your religion is in there. Yeah, but they don't like to say God. They'll say universe and things like that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, that really strengthened me. And I was in that environment with my company. I worked for monthly meetings. I'd go there. I'd get the energy from them. I had a good support structure, and again, to your listeners, I want them to build, whether they're going through any issue or not, have a good support structure around you, because without that, we are nothing on our own.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. You know, she said everything I would have said. It's good, get rest, you know, get good people, the right vibe. When you have the right people, the right connection, the right atmosphere, it's going to help you, you know, to heal, or in healing, or in your healing process. And don't rush it. You know, give yourself time, but don't remain there. Listen to good music. There's a lot of rubbish out there. But listen to inspirational music, something that will motivate you, that will move you to the next level. Try to gather yourself around good people that think ahead of you, that have you good mind for you, that want to see you, you know, turn out to be somebody good in life. You know, read books as well. Books are really, really good. And pray. Connect with your maker. That is the right time for you to connect with your maker. If you don't have that relationship, you can develop that relation. Some people go for swimming. She said she was going for dance. Some people love to walk. You can just do some prayer walk. You know, nothing stop you from prayer walking. You can gather other women and say, let's do some jogging round, and you will be prayer walking, you know, proclaiming the land for the Lord. You know, you can do a lot of things, but you need the right people around you. That is very, very crucial. It's very, very important. Why are you sharing your story? I really wanted to tell
the reason I'm sharing is I know for sure there'll be one viewer or listener out there that will be listening and will find some kind of connection with me or my story, and might take that step that they need to take, which they know they need to. It might just push them to take that step. And for that reason, they might live a better life. Even if it's one person, after me giving an hour and a half here today, I am happy with that, because my religion teaches me that. Be, you know, a blessing for people around us, you know, help others to be happier, healthier in different ways. And that's why I love to share, and it helps me as well, reminds me of where I've been, doesn't help me forget, because I think if we forget where we've been, we've not got an identity.
Yeah.
And but the other point I really want to say is, you know, you've talked about me being in another relationship, marriage now.
Yeah.
I'm happily married, but make sure you are healed from your first marriage before you even think of moving on. You don't want to take all that baggage through there.
Thank you.
Because it's going to be the same thing again. So make sure you heal yourself, and with your, like you said, everything, religion,
you know, that what you've added, that's very, very key.
Important.
I always say to people, make sure you're ill before you go into another relationship. Even as a single person, don't think you can just jump into another marriage or another relationship like that, because a broken person will break another one. It's just as simple as that. When you're not healed, you can't heal other person, and nobody can heal you until you heal yourself and you're at that stage where you want to move on. Right. From what you said, it left you penniless. But you are in business.
Yeah.
Charmaine, how did you start the business that you are doing now?
Yeah.
Can you please talk us through how you were able to raise money to you know, capital to
as
to
soon
get
as
this?
you know, like I said, penniless. What happened is I knew my sisters, my friends were saying go into a 9-to-5 job because that would be better for you. But then I used to think, who would pick my daughter up from school if she's not well? How am I going to manage? Because I've been in a 9-to-5 job. I, you know, shook myself. I said, I can't do that. So I have to do this. So how do I do it? So I sell products, and it changes people's lives for sure. So when I used to sell one product, I started from a couple of products, had them not much in stock. I'd sell that product, run with that money to the bank, put it in the bank, put another order in, that would come, sell that, kept doing that. So until my business started being that I was able to stock enough, be more confident that I've got money in the bank now, I can buy more stock. So it was really, really tough the way I had to do that. And some of the days, I remember when financially, you know, going through the hardest time, I think, how am I going to pay that bill? And who do I think of? My creator.
Wow.
I'm not going to do this to any human in my life, and I never have done. My creator, and he made sure every month the bills were paid our day.
Wow.
And that was miracles around me.
Wow.
I've seen miracle after miracle, and just sharing one miracle one month, I thought, every month, God, you've given me money from somewhere. I can't think where it can come from this month. And you know where it came from?
Where?
I met my daughter's friend's mummy for, she took me out for tea, and we, at the end, she gave me a card and a little present, and I came home. And there's £400 in that card.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, exactly. And I said to God, you knew this woman. How? And I hate taking money from anybody. I do not take money, And I rang that friend and I said, I'm not accepting this, no way. She's one of those that if we're in a restaurant and she wants to pay, she'll be fighting me physically on the table that, no, I'm going to pay. It was her. And I said, she would never, ever take it back. She'd make so much noise and commotion. And I prayed to God, I said, you put it in the right person's hand to give it me, because you knew that if it was anybody else, I would force them. And that was and that was like miracle after miracle happened. So financially,
Thank you very much, friend. If you are watching, you know, I hope you know, our viewers and listeners, you will be one of such friends, somebody going through such things, and the Lord will minister into you that bless this person. I hope you will obey as well, because sometimes it goes a long way, and people will think, oh, in England nobody give you money. Well, look at that. That is definitely
and
from
you
God.
know, she was one of the friends who was in hardship herself. You know,
that's something I love. That sometimes in this world with so much self-centered, self-conscious, thinking about just ourselves, I'm in trouble, I'm going through a lot, the circumstances, the challenges, the tribulations, and it's like we don't see any other person. You know, we close our eyes to other people around us, but don't be like that, because you ministering to them, God might be teaching you something or will be touching your life in some ways as well. Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you to people that are watching us. Uzana, is it Uzna? Uzna Bina, thank you very much for watching. He said, Almighty Allah keeps us strong. Thank you. He went further to say, men are self-conflicting victims. Do what your heart says and do what's right for the kids. Thank you very much. Robina said, well done, dear. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Uznas went forward to say, every word is true. Thank you. Shimi Ahmed said, Asama, is that what he said?
Mashallah.
Mashallah. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce that. Thank you very much for watching us this afternoon. I do really appreciate you all. Help us share this video, because I believe in you sharing it. You will be blessing somebody out there this afternoon. You know, Shima, you've said a lot of things, and a woman might be watching, or a man might be watching and say, I don't even have any confidence.
I'm going to speak to that person.
How did you gain your confidence to be able to move on and do all of these things you've achieved?
It's come from God and being truthful yourself, you know, trying to do your best. But I'm going to talk